think I'm pregnant. These are happy tears. So I guess I should give you an update because it's been a while. Today is Monday, the 26th of February, 2018. Just a bit of a recap into what's happened. So previously, Kang and I have been trying to start a family for almost 4 years, maybe 4 years now. This will be our 4th year, and nothing was working. We had a bit of issues in our life as well, not just with the pregnancy, but I guess I went through another episode of depression as well as just relationship problems with Kang's family. So we no longer talk to his family at all. I don't want to go into much details about that, but it was hard because at the same time, it's like one after the other, things will just happen. And for us to start a family, I just wanted to start a family so bad because I felt like it was a reason, like it was a thing to move on. It was like, I don't know how to explain it, but it just wasn't happening, and we didn't know why. Like, I always thought being a female, it just happens naturally. I didn't think it would be so hard. But last July, we decided to go through our first round of IVF. It was a hard decision because, like I said, I didn't realize it was going to be that hard. And I haven't heard, like, even though I know a lot of people do it, I didn't think I would be one of those people. But it was, and it really hurt because the day I went into for my egg collection, that day I was told that they didn't find any, so that was it, and it was really heartbreaking. And yeah, so Kang and I decided that we weren't going to do a round 2 straight away, only because I didn't want to jump into it again and fail. I think it will make me more upset spending all that money for nothing, I guess, because that's how I felt, to be told the same day that it just didn't work. I just handed in that payment and then it didn't work, so we decided that I was going to work on myself. As much as I didn't want to wait any longer, I felt that we should. And, work on my fitness, work on my mindset, work on just being happy for us both, not just me and Kang as well. So we thought that, we'll give 6 months. So until the end of the year, January, we'll start around 2. But when January came, I felt like I was slightly better, but I didn't see much of an improvement, especially in weight. I'm not sure. I wasn't told that it was the reason why because of my weight, but at the same time, everyone kept telling me, try to lose weight. It will make it a lot easier as well. So we didn't want to do anything if we think it would reduce our chances unless we've done something. So by the time January came, I didn't think I was really doing that. So I thought, you know what, let's just give it a few more months, work on us first. And this year we just kind of decided to do stuff. And in January for my birthday, I decided to book. I didn't want to wait around predicting, when I'm pregnant then, or I'm probably going to be, so I won't do anything. So this year for my birthday in January, I decided to book a self-defense class in April. I was going to do it in February, but because we had a few things on, schedule didn't match, so I booked it in April. And a couple of weeks ago, we decided to book a trip to Japan. So I'm so excited because we want to go for so long. But we thought, we did think, like, what if we do? But we didn't want to think like that and get disappointed and waste another year. So we just booked it. We are going to Japan, and yeah, so everything is like happening and we just stopped, I guess. It's really hard because people say that a lot of people fall pregnant when they just stop trying. And you can't exactly just stop because it's always in the back of my mind. Every month as well, it's the same thing when I'm getting my period. When it's a few days late, what if I'm pregnant? Or hurry up and come so I can start, because it just every month that went past, it was a disappointment because I get my period and yeah, but this time was, I don't know, it was different. Like, I didn't know what to expect. Everyone has different symptoms, everyone's different experiences. So for me, this month, like, I've never gotten cramps before not having my period, if that makes sense. So I did have a few cramps a few weeks ago, which I thought was out of the ordinary, but I didn't want to make up symptoms, so I didn't think anything about it. I just kept on going, and then my period was meant to come last week, Thursday, I believe, but I started spotting on Monday, like just brown spotting, and I was like, there goes another month, you know, nothing's happening. So I was preparing myself for another period. But then all of a sudden the next day the spotting stopped. And I have watched movies. I think Kristen Dunst was in a movie where, like, a teenage pregnancy movie where she was spotting one day and then she found out she was pregnant. So, and I've heard stories that some women still had their period while they were pregnant. So, you know, with that in the back of my mind, I was like, maybe something is up. But I didn't want to hype myself in case I wasn't, because there has been a few times that I was late for a week and then I did a pregnancy test and then turned out negative, and then I got my period the next day. So I decided to hold it off, but last night I just couldn't sleep at all. I was up till 7 in the morning just thinking, like, why? It's that constant feeling, like, hear me out, like, let me know if you know what I mean. It's that when you feel movement down there, like, I know whether it's fanny farts or whether it's like air, but when you feel changes down there, it's like, oh, my period just came, it just came. And I kept thinking that, but every time I would go to the toilet like 20 times in a day and nothing. It was nothing. So last night I just couldn't sleep. I was up till 7 in the morning. I had to force myself to sleep. And then I woke up again at 10 this morning and was like, you know what, let's just get it over and done with, take the test, because rather that than spending another few days waiting for that, doing that waiting game. So I did the test this morning. I wasn't expecting anything. I just wanted to prove that I wasn't, so I can move on, because I think I already had it in my mindset that it just wasn't going to happen. And then this happened. So honestly, like, I sat there for so long, like, in shock, because the whole time, I don't know, I have really bad aim. If I was a guy, I would be so bad. But you know when you kind of just poo everywhere and the whole thing turns purple? So before, I sat there and just nothing happened. So I thought maybe this was broken, I don't know. And then I was actually looking at this one and I thought the line was a little bit close to that side, and this one became darker. So I'm like, all right, maybe I'm looking at the wrong thing. And this whole side on this side was actually all purple. And then a line started to appear. And then I thought I was imagining things. And then now I thought, the longer I looked at it, I thought, is it disappearing? Is it going away? But it's still there, so here we are now. I haven't even told Cam yet, so I don't even know how to tell him. I have a doctor's appointment booked this afternoon, because I actually caught up sick today anyway, so I thought I would go to see a doctor to get a few checkups done, but now I have more of a reason to go. I still don't want to get my hopes up, because, like, even though you can clearly see 2 lines, like, I don't know, like, I think because it's been so long, I've always prepared myself for it not being positive. But now that it is, it hasn't hit me yet that I could be pregnant. So I guess I'll go to the doctor and get it checked out. So don't mind me, I decided to do my brows, but I forgot to provide an update. So today is Saturday. It has been for 5 days since I found out I was pregnant. And on that Monday, I did go and do a blood test just to confirm, because even though the test showed that I was, it's 99%, and I don't know, I always think that maybe it's not 100%, so I did get a blood test done, and I went to the doctor's yesterday, Friday, which was about 4 days after that, and she confirmed that I was. So yeah, just wanted to give an update. I don't know what's happening now, I guess. This is all just a shock, I guess, to both of us. I did tell Kyung on Monday night as well, and we just both kind of sat there blank. Like, we've always, I guess, assumed that it wasn't going to happen, and now that it has, it never occurred to us that shit is getting real, and we don't know where to begin. So unfortunately, the doctor, my GP that I went to, wasn't very helpful. So I guess it's a whole lot of research, and I do have my OB that I saw during the IVF, so I'll probably just make an appointment with her. And yeah, so right now I guess it's just a lot of Googling. So today is the 10th of March, and don't really have much updates because we haven't really done anything since I found out I was pregnant. My GP was kind of useless, to be honest, so we booked in an appointment with my OB, the one I saw with the whole IVF. So the appointment's not till April the 4th. But right now, today, I am officially 6 weeks, according to the app that I'm looking at. I'm using this app called Ovia Pregnancy. I used it for fertility. It's just a good way to track down my periods, honestly. But according to that, I am 6 weeks pregnant. I'm not 100% sure because the time I saw my GP, she said I was only 2 weeks. So I don't know whether you take it as the time you conceive or the time of your last period. So I'm just going to go by 6 weeks at this stage. But yeah, so I haven't really had much symptoms or anything. Don't really know. I mean, nothing that I didn't have before. But I guess the biggest thing, the hardest thing right now is food, because I love my food and it is the hardest thing not being able to eat. We are so excited because we are going to Japan in May, and specifically there to eat sushi, really. But now I can't do that, so I'm kind of bummed, but it's really hard, especially today. So it's Kang and I's anniversary, so we've been together for 14 years, and we actually booked 2 months ago. We made a reservation to Kasumi in Melbourne, which is like a Japanese, they do omakase, which is like the chef cooks, like makes the sushi in front of you. It's like a chef special, so we were super excited, looking forward to that, because it's like a long waiting list. So unfortunately I had to cancel that because I can't eat any raw food, like raw sushi. So instead we are now celebrating at a Japanese grill place, Wagyu. It's one of my favorites. So the good thing is that I guess because it's a barbecue, I can kind of just barbecue the shit out of my food, so it's cooked. But yeah, that's the only hardest thing so far, but I'll give you an update once I have my first appointment, and hopefully I'll have like legit information by then. So today is Wednesday the 4th of April. Just had our first appointment with the OB today, so the one that I saw through the whole IVF thing. So we decided to go back to her. And yeah, I don't really have any updates. Like, I was hoping to get like an official update with like ultrasound and things like that, but we actually didn't get any of that today. Like, we went and saw her, and we discussed, I guess, steps to do next. And she's really good. Like, she's very positive, but she does tend to talk a bit fast, and it was a bit overwhelming with all the information that we got today. So we just discussed, and apparently I'm about 10 weeks now, but we didn't really do any like actual tests. We just pretty much had a discussion based on the blood test that I had a few weeks ago. We timed it against that, but it wasn't, I mean, I guess a blood test is, legitimately accurate, but I felt like I don't know, in my head I still don't see it as being 100% being pregnant, so I did make an appointment because I'm 10 weeks now. I do need to start getting things rolling. So I have booked an appointment for next week to do a NIPS. I believe it's to do with like Down syndrome, and I get to also find out the sex of the baby because it's also as part of it. I personally wanted to do this because it's good, you know, nowadays that you can do a test to find out if there is any problems or complications along the way. And yeah, so that's the reason why we didn't do an ultrasound or anything today, because I'm going to have to do one anyway when I do all that. So hopefully by my next appointment, I will have all those information. Okay, so I want to give an official update. That's why I'm sitting here recording this properly than on my phone. Today is the 11th of April and I am officially pregnant. Like, I know I was pregnant anyway because I peed on the stick and did a blood test, but it just didn't seem real because I couldn't see it or hear a heartbeat. But today we had our first ultrasound done and we saw Nugget. It's just been so crazy. Like, up until this point I am officially 11 weeks and 1 day. I don't even know how they know that information, but yeah, so I thought I was about 10 weeks at the moment, but I'm actually 11 weeks, which is weird. Like, 11 weeks ago I was like normal. So I guess I wanted to give an official update today because now that I know it is somewhat real, like, I'm still not at the end of first trimester, so I'm not 100% clear yet, like safe, but I guess until the baby's born you can never really be safe. And for me, the hardest thing, couple of hard things, but one of it is keeping this a secret from everyone. I am generally a very open person, and I feel that, you know, the hardest thing was trying to keep it to this point. I didn't want to say anything until I knew I was 100%. Now that I know, like, I can start, I guess, telling family that I'm pregnant. So yeah, and I think for me, like, I don't know why there's a taboo saying you can't really tell people before your first trimester. I think it's better to tell people now, so, you know, if anything happens, you've got that support rather than going through it alone and then finding out after and dealing with it. So that's just personally how I feel, but yeah. So official update. So apart from Kyung, I think about 7 weeks in was when I first told someone that I was pregnant. Surprisingly, the first person I told was my brother. Like, we didn't really have the strongest relationship growing up, which, weirdly enough, the past couple of years I think we've like created this bond. So he was the first person that I told. I also told a few girlfriends, like ones that are very close, yet because I have a lot of different friendship groups that don't necessarily, you know, associate with a lot of people. So the ones that I told either had kids recently within the past year or so that I could relate to, and also like that I can tell them comfortably without worrying about other people knowing. So that was good, because at least the past couple of weeks I did have, you know, someone to talk to when I didn't know. Because, you know, even though Kyung and I are on Google all the time, I don't know whether half of the symptoms I'm making up in my head or whether it is true or not. And it's just nice to know, like, a reassurance that, you know, it is because of the pregnancy, not because I'm crazy. But yeah, so I guess I haven't really touched up on any of the symptoms or stuff yet, because like I said, I wasn't sure whether I was making it in my head or not. Like, prior to being pregnant, I, you know, was tired anyway. I did start peeing a lot anyway. And I know, like, obviously I wasn't pregnant because that was like a few months ago I started just peeing, because maybe because I just keep drinking a lot now. But yeah, and I don't have official IBS, but I did have some symptoms, especially on certain foods that I eat. And because I eat a lot of things and have no self-control, like, it kind of flared up a lot of those IBS symptoms. So I wasn't sure whether I was having it because it's me or because it was pregnancy. So before that, I never really had any cramps or anything, but I did notice though, so in February when I was due to have my period, it was strange because I started getting cramps one day, which was weird because I didn't have my period. Like, usually my period is quite regular. I wouldn't say it's heavy or anything, like very heavy or very painful. Sometimes, like once in a while, I have like really bad cramps where I'm like sweating and flustered and everything, but it's not frequently, so I'm usually really okay. So I did find it weird that on my February cycle that I did start getting cramps out of nowhere, and then because my period didn't come, I did my pregnancy test and found out that I was pregnant. So that was the only, I guess, real sign into the, whether I was pregnant or not. If I keep looking down, I am looking at my phone. So at the moment, so apart from Googling everything, I do have a few apps that I downloaded. I was using the Ovia fertility app when I was tracking my period and also checking, trying to conceive, like trying to fall pregnant. But now that I now use Ovia pregnancy. My girlfriend did recommend a few other apps, but I find that the Ovia pregnancy is probably the best one for me because it's very easy to follow. It gives you tips, it gives you advice, and also like a baby development as well, and also tells you like the size comparison, like week by week, if it changes the size and everything like that. So I just find it really helpful. You can also add notes in for appointments, symptoms, or anything like that. So I thought this was a really good one. So I did jot down some notes, I guess, because I have noticed I have trouble sleeping. So when I do that, this is what I do at night, just write down notes. So that's where I'm referring to. So I guess because I found out late in February that I was pregnant, like I didn't really experience anything much the first couple of weeks. So when I found out I was pregnant, until then I was probably already 4 or 5 weeks. Like you don't realize, but I thought it was when you can, like when you have sex and the sperm goes in, I thought that was when you're pregnant, but it's actually from the last period. That's when it starts creating the egg, so it goes by that day. So by the time I found out, I was actually already 4 or 5 weeks. So from the first couple of weeks that I found out I was pregnant, so the first 5 to 7 weeks. So before that, like I said, peeing a lot, I was tired anyway, so I didn't really notice. I was always hot, and for some reason I just started craving carbs. Like for me, carbs have always been my weakness, but I did have some sort of self-control. And after seeing the nutritionist last year, I have kind of made, and also the New Year resolution, I guess, was to make some healthy lifestyle changes. So it means cutting out a lot of carbs like rice, breads. I limit myself to 1 or 2 slices, maybe like 1 in 2 days, and also drinking more water instead of cutting out juice, and drinking more like sugar-free, like just fruit tea, like without excess like added sugar and things like that. Yeah, so they were kind of like things that I started to, but I noticed like I did start to kind of fall back off the wagon and started craving more carbs mostly. And I was always thirsty as well. So those are the things I noticed within the first 5 to 7 weeks. I also noticed as well that I was really short of breath the first few weeks of pregnancy. For some reason, like even if I was going out for lunch and just walking back to the office or just walking to the station, a very short, like 10-minute walk, and I was just really short of breath all the time, which is weird because like even though I'm not exactly the fittest, but at least I can walk a certain normal average distance, but I was just really short of breath. And now it's not so much, I guess, because I am kind of doing more frequent walks around the block, but I don't really do much during the day. I am finding myself tired at the moment, but I don't have that shorter breath than I did before, which I thought was weird. By the 7th, 8th week, like that's when I told my brother and one of my girlfriends, because I happened to have seen her. Within those times, I noticed, like I know a lot of, I guess it depends on a lot of people, whether they start showing or not. Because I am an overweight person, I have a fairly big stomach anyway. And I sleep on my stomach, so I did find it hard sleeping, knowing that because I'm pregnant I would have to start sleeping on my back, and I don't exactly feel comfortable because it kind of flares up like a sleep apnea, and I feel like I'm always waking up choking. So I found it restless, like moving from left to the right. And I know they say you should sleep on your right more, just where your stomach sits. It's harmful sleeping on your left, but I found it, I was tossing myself left and right trying to find a comfortable position, and it's just really hard. I just found it really hard sleeping. There were a few nights where I don't know whether I felt it in my mind, like in my head, or whether I did feel it, but I felt my stomach kind of stretching, which is hard to understand, especially if you're overweight, because my belly is just like, you don't even want to see it. But I did kind of feel like it was stretching or something, and it was just like a weird sensation. But it may be because I was overly tired and not getting enough sleep that I was just making it in my head. But I felt like I didn't know whether you're meant to feel it grow inside you or not. because up until this point I didn't really feel anything going on, you know, in terms of feeling anything gross. So I did feel a little, I guess, body kind of preparing itself, if you can say that. But yeah, and another thing I noticed as well, like within that, around that time, is that a lot of people say, you know, when you're pregnant, you're eating for two, you start getting cravings and you're hungry. But I noticed for me that I had more of a loss of appetite. Like I wasn't overly hungry, and like this is coming from me who loves food. When I'm bored I eat, when I'm tired I eat, when I'm driving I eat because I'm happy, and I eat when I'm sad, because I'll always be eating. I do try to eat better, but I love food too much. But I found it weird that I started losing my appetite. So when I eat, I would eat like twice a day. I'll eat like a late brunch, and then I'll eat dinner. And that's about it. Like I wasn't really hungry. I was constantly thirsty, but I wasn't hungry. And even when I was eating, I felt that I was full a lot quicker, which I thought was really weird. I didn't really have much cravings or anything, which I don't know whether you're meant to get it so early in the pregnancy, but I did notice though I was craving croissants at one stage. I just really wanted croissants, which is weird because I never really had that craving. Like I love croissants, but it's not something that I would get all the time. I might have one like once every few months or so. But yeah, I just started really loving croissants, and that's all I really wanted to eat. I didn't really get any morning sickness or anything. I did feel a bit seedy here and there, but I was kind of preparing myself for morning sickness. So I did start carrying around ginger lollies, like these Asian ginger lollies, just to nibble on if I did feel a bit seedy. So it wasn't until about 8 or 9 weeks that I noticed that I was feeling more nauseous than I would, and it's not like a morning or night thing, it's more during the day thing. That's when I started, I guess, telling more girlfriends, because I was out with them and I was just feeling really shit. So since they had kids, I thought I might as well tell them as well. So it's really good to just talk to other people that have kids to know what they went through, and it really helped a lot as well, knowing, you know, what to look out for, what to expect and things like that. So I've never thrown up yet, thank God. There was one time that I did gag, but it's just more, it's not like a morning or night thing, just more of a constant feeling of feeling really seedy. And even though, you know, the ginger lollies and stuff helped, this time it kind of made me more tired, seedy. And yeah, so again, I still don't really have much of an appetite. Like when I have a meal and that's it. So I guess from the 9 to 11 weeks, because I saw a nutritionist, we've really just been trying to work on a proper diet. I don't feel hungry, but I do try to get as much as I can in. My current craving is orange juice. I'm back on the orange juice because it's not more, I don't know, for some reason, like, it's the only thing that's really settling that nausea kind of feeling right now. Apart from the ginger lollies, but because it's not really my go-to, I've been really going towards the orange juice. So we have seen a nutritionist, so I am kind of getting a more balanced diet, just so I'm not gaining any excess weight that could put me at a risk, because I am overweight in terms of BMI at the moment, but I didn't want to put that at risk. So as part of the nutritionist diet, it's just pretty much like telling me how much intakes I should take of like carbs, veg, protein and dairy and things like that. The hardest thing till this point was definitely food. Morning sickness and stuff wasn't too much of a problem, but I was constantly googling what I can and can't eat, because that's the hardest thing, because I love food, especially because we're going to Japan. It's devastating me that I can't eat sushi or like raw meat and stuff like that, so I don't know what I'm going to do when I go. But even now, like at home, like you don't know certain foods, like, you know, that needs to be properly washed, it needs to be prepared. You can't have packaged food, dairy, like, you know, certain cheeses, pasteurized, unpasteurized food, or like, you know, just things in general. So like everyday things that you take for granted, like you don't notice till now that you're pregnant, and I find that I'm googling everything. So the good thing is that the nutritionist has given me like a sample list of things that I should do. So at the moment I am trying to, I guess, eat more of a proper diet. So not skipping meals just because I'm not hungry, but doing it for nugget, getting in those nutrition. So that is, I guess, my pregnancy so far. I haven't told my parents yet. I'll probably tell them this weekend when I see them because they've been busy. Emotionally wise, like I said, it's just a surreal experience finally being pregnant. I do admit that I did kind of have one or two breakdowns within the past week or so, because with the current situation, like, I feel like Hannah and I are alone. Even though we've got a family close by and friends, it's just really hard because we only have my parents, and because they're pretty far away, the reality hits that, you know, Kang and I, we might have to do this by ourselves. And as much as I'm grateful and I know my parents will be there for me, there'll be probably like a whole lot of traveling, and it just really got me emotionally down. Also, like, Kang and I, our relationship, like, we don't have a problem, but I think it's just like normal everyday stuff that we need to address before Nugget comes in, because I want to make sure that when Nugget comes in, like, these are kind of like, I feel like I can't really buy anything yet because we're still early in the pregnancy, not till the second trimester, but at least we start talking about what we want Nugget, what we want to do when Nugget is born. So those are the things that we also talk about now, apart from the whole lot of Googling. I've got to say, Kang is more of a stricter person than I am with his pregnancy. I think because we took so long to finally get to the stage, we just want to make sure we don't put the baby at risk through anything. So it's good to have him there with me, but at the same time, even though we don't have like a bad relationship, I think it's also important that we do talk more about it to grow and be stronger, more of a stronger unit, so when Nugget does join us, that, you know, we can teach him, he or she, to, I guess, grow. Also as well, so today I had the NIPS test, which is pretty much like, it just checks the ultrasound, make sure everything's okay. Also, I can also find out whether there's any signs like Down syndrome and stuff like that. I also find out the gender. Kang and I have decided that we might keep it a secret for now, so I'll probably ask them to, when they do have the results, just to put it in an envelope, so when we are ready to kind of, if we want to, it's there, but if it's not, I think right now we're just happy that we finally do have a Nugget growing inside me, so I think we just want to leave it as that and be grateful. So today is the 29th of April, and I just wanted to give an update and kind of end this video because I know it's a very, very long one. This whole pregnancy kind of journey is quite long, but I kind of wanted to group it into sections and like trimesters, because rather than give like a lot of small updates here and there, because I feel like it's just going to drag on for weeks. So anyway, so I hope it's not too long, that you're still following through with me. But yeah, so I am at the end of my first trimester. I'm in my 13th week, coming on 14th week, and things are still going well. I guess it's that constant like worry that, you know, somewhere along the line it may not turn out. At this stage things are still going well. So I forgot to give an update, but the past Wednesday I had my 13th week scan, so the baby's beeping, I heard the heartbeat. It was so cool. We also did a lot of measurements, like I saw the elbows, the knees, and like the brain, and also just like, you know, the main functions kind of working. So it feels, I don't know, like it still hasn't really hit me yet, but now that I can kind of see it, it just feels like it's about to happen. And it's kind of scary as well. I know a lot of people say, you know, they love being pregnant, and for me, pregnancy isn't my thing, I guess, like so far feeling it. I know it's something that, you know, we go through, and it's just scary thinking that, you know, I'm just this human vessel like carrying this living thing inside me. But yeah, it's such a really surreal experience. So I just wanted to touch up on a few things as well, just to end my first trimester. So I've got it down on my phone, just a few things that I forgot to mention along the way. So right now, I guess before, since Kyung and I started planning to have a kid, I've been taking the Elevate folate tablets. So I've been taking it on and off for about 4 years now, and obviously since I found out I was pregnant, that I was more consistent, because I'm always forgetful in taking my vitamins and pills. So I've been taking that for a while, but I'm also on the side, because I saw a nutritionist, I'm also taking some vitamin D tablets, because I'm always on the low side of that, and also some fish oil tablets as well before omega. It is recommended that as part of my diet. So the whole point of me, so I saw a nutritionist, is because I'm overweight, is not to put on more weight while I'm pregnant and only put up enough so Nugget can get its nutrients. So I am taking those at the moment, supplements. Also try to put in a diet of like, you know, having salmon or fish once a week, a lot of iron food, greens and stuff like that. I do admit, like, I do cheat sometimes. Well, I guess, you know, when we're too lazy to cook, then we'll go get pizza or something like that. But to be honest, like, a lot of people say that they get more hungry and craving, but for someone that used to eat a lot, I am on the other side, so I feel like I eat less now. I get full really easily and I'm not as hungry as I used to be, so I haven't noticed any weight gain. Like, I'm still on the same weight as I was before I was pregnant, but I haven't lost any further, so I'm not sure whether that extra is baby weight from the baby, but I haven't really put on anything right now. So in terms of like symptoms, so a lot of these I'm not sure whether I covered previously, but right now, like the past couple of weeks, my boobs have just been so sore. Like, I don't notice, I think it has grown a bit, but it's more on the side of your boobs. Like, it's just sore. Like, if I'm not wearing a bra, so I did go and invest in maternity bras, just came out like cheap ones, but I did find that they do kind of help a bit, because like the ones with the wire, like normal bras, when I wore that, it kind of hurt a bit after when I took it off, but the maternity bras means that, you know, during the day it's fine, but then when I take it off and sleep at night, I notice that it starts to hurt. So sore boobs have been one of my symptoms. I get really bad RLS, so once in a while I have trouble sleeping because I feel like my legs or my arms go numb. It's like this tingling sensation, like your bones are like kind of throbbing a bit, and it's really weird. But I just lately, it's like since I've been pregnant, I've had trouble sleeping. I always sleep on my stomach, so it was really hard to kind of sleep on my side without rolling on my stomach, because obviously I don't want to hurt Nugget and things like that, so I find that hard. My girlfriend has given me a pillow that I can sleep on my stomach, but I haven't really yet used it yet because just in case. But yeah, so I have trouble sleeping, and I've noticed since being pregnant my leg has just gotten a lot worse. Like, I actually googled it and realized that it is an actual pregnancy symptom. So usually when you're pregnant, if you had that symptom before that, it kind of like accelerates that, so you do get it quite bad when you're pregnant. So I do have trouble sleeping at night. I can't sleep, so I probably get like about 4 or 5, and I have to wake up every 2 hours as well to pee. So it's a combination of just like peeing, thinking, and just the whole leg problem. So it's called restless leg syndrome as well. It's just when your legs just, you know, just, I don't know, they're uncomfortable, because there's like this feeling and you get in your leg, and it's just really uncomfortable to sleep. So during the day, like, I'm fine taking naps, but just at night when you're like literally about to sleep, that's when it starts to kind of flare up. So I do have trouble sleeping, but it doesn't mean that I'm that exhausted during the day, like compared to what I normally am. I do notice that when I go out for a full day or I'm out for a walk, then I do get tired after, but it doesn't really bother like the lack of sleep at the moment, which I know I should really get more sleep, because after the baby's here, then I won't get any sleep. But yeah, I get that. My skin as well has been so dry. Like, that's the one thing I've noticed. And even though, so we've got an envelope with the gender of Nugget, but we decided not to know at the moment. So that being said, I'm just doing some reading. I have a feeling it's a girl, only because my skin has been feeling so dry. I've been breaking out a lot, and the more, I'm really thirsty all the time. But the thirstiness doesn't exactly hydrate my skin. Like, the more I drink, it doesn't hydrate it. It just makes me pee a lot more. So I don't know how to deal with that. Like, I've been trying to search, because I know a lot of like cosmetics, like skincare. I can't use certain ones, which really sucks. So I'm not really sure what skincare to get. I would ask for recommendations, but by the time I post this, I may have already had babies. So yeah, so that's a really hard thing. But yeah, at this stage, like, I just feel really gross. Like, my skin's been breaking out. But apart from that, like, in terms of food, no bad cravings. Apart from the croissants at the start, I haven't really gotten any. It's gonna be hard, like I said, when I go to Japan. I'm not sure what I'm gonna eat, but yeah, everything is, apart from that, like, I haven't thrown up yet. There were a few times I gagged, but that's about it. So far things are going good. I also obviously told my parents, they're really super excited as well. I also told one of my aunties, because they're close to me, like location wise, and I see her every week, so she'll be, I guess, my closest family, so I felt comfortable telling her. I was excited telling her as well. But I am about to tell my grandpa and grandma tonight, so I guess once I tell my grandma, everyone's gonna know. But yeah, so we are super excited. Can't believe I'm at this stage where I'm at the end of trimester, so hopefully things will go good from here. Like I said, I'm going to end this here at the first trimester. I will post up like second and third and so on. I hope this video isn't too long. I know it's probably over like 40 minutes by now, and I try to cut it much as I can to keep it small, but I just felt like, you know, anyone that's going through similar things with me, like situation of like having ages to conceive, my I guess advice is just don't give up. Like, we've been trying for so long and it just didn't happen. I think it was more, I think if it was meant to be, it's meant to be, and it will happen eventually. Just don't overthink about it, don't stress. And I know it's a lot easier said than done, but I think that's something that really helped with me. So yeah, thank you for coming along. I will insert a scan after this as well to end it, but yeah, so till next one.